trouble.
Yeah.
Or changes. And you here, or.
Okay. Let me call this meeting of the Public Safety and General Government Committee to order. We have with us Sarah Pasty, the Alderwoman, Alderwoman Marissa Maravelli, Alderman Ben Falk, and Alderman Mike Ham, and I'm Bob Dennison, the chair. And our first item of business is a CAC update. Emily wrote to me and said that she can't be here today. So I told her that we would distribute her annual report, which is, I distributed it electronically. There's also copies in the center of the table. It's a good read. They do a lot of good work, and I commend it to you. I'm not going to read it here, but I think it's a good read. I think you all should read it, and they are active in many fronts, which is good.
Yeah, many fronts. I was, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they do quite a bit, which is great. And Emily is, Emily's great. So he can't be here, but she would tell you to read it as well. How's that?
I don't think you're putting words in your mouth.
No, designation of historic preservation model. Sue Cahill is here. Okay, go for it. You want to sit in your way? Come on, don't be afraid.
Get on camera.
Yeah, I'll say this to everybody who's here, we need people to come sit, it's easier to hear.
Yes, if you sit here,
Maybe
yeah.
sit at the table, so.
Okay, sit here, come on. Okay. So okay, go ahead.
So basically, yeah, this is an initiative from the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission. And, everybody is well aware, I'm sure, that it is the 250th anniversary this year. It's also the 60th anniversary of the HLPC being established. And it's also the 60th anniversary of the National Historic Preservation Act passage. So, with all of this happening this year, the National Trust for Historic Preservation had established May as Historic Preservation Month, but we wanted to do it locally as well in the city of Kingston. And the Landmarks Preservation Commission is just asking the council to designate May as Historic Preservation Month. One of the things that they have already started is a Historic Preservation Award. And it's really to just bring forward some of the examples, whether they be actual construction projects or individuals, is to recognize, the efforts and in preservation that have gone on throughout the city of Kingston. So that has been already put into place. You should have received the outline to put in nominations, which are due on March 10th for this year. We're hoping to give out 3 awards in the month of May. We're also looking at doing a couple of potential workshops during the month on a variety of, maybe a couple of different topics that will be of interest. Those are the kinds of things that they've started to do for just this year, but it will become an annual program. And May will obviously be the month when we really do a highlight of these things. So I'm just really here. If you have any questions about it, we did pass a resolution. I know Marissa is our liaison. She's prepared a resolution for your consideration as well. That's it.
You've also submitted a seeker document and other supporting material.
It's actually a type 2 because it's an administrative, but you as the decision-making entity need to recognize that.
So there's really 2 parts to this resolution. One is accepting the seeker determination, and the second is making the.
It's in, I think, it's in her resolution.
Packet you got, the packet that was handed
in the
out
packet.
with the draft, the HLPC version.
Yeah.
So I shared with you the draft of the common council version, which changes the language, so it's the council passing the resolution.
Can you, what was the date? Do you have that?
Yeah, it was
February 18th.
February 18th. And it has this seeker determination in it.
So I know it prepared as well, but
I have a copy if you want.
This is the.
Yeah,
the resolution.
it's February.
Committee report.
This should be it's a.
There's a copy in there.
well, but then.
Right.
and it modifies one paragraph. It has an excellent overview of the history of preservation, both locally and nationally. I just felt like we didn't need to call Nixon out for his contribution to Preservation Week.
Oh.
And it gave us more space to talk about the importance of preservation in terms of economic or contributing to the local economy and affordable housing development. Some of our most signature affordable housing developments have been preservation projects. So just squeezing that language into the ordinance without making it super long.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just put it as for attached for this one, but
Sure.
we will need a separate resolution for the seeds determination.
No.
You don't?
No,
But
because it's type two, you can do
But the
it,
committee report should reflect,
yes.
But it's a type.
and it
Oh,
does.
we can do it in one, we can do it in one report, just say it's type
It's just
two.
right, all you need to do is recognize it as a type two, and once you recognize it,
It
it's a
doesn't,
type two.
right?
It does not.
So
Yeah, the title is Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, declaring the month of May henceforth as Historic Preservation Month.
Yeah,
This new committee report is down below, right?
So we're gonna do a new committee report.
there should be blanks.
There is blanks.
Should I have a blank?
It's got the blank right there, right on the committee report, it's down here, see that?
Oh,
Right there, it's
Yeah.
up there.
Right, we have
But-
to change- we have to
I'm
change-
gonna-
we have to change the slider. It's a different committee.
Yeah.
Oh,
I put it on the general government, you
okay.
know, someone.
I'm sorry.
It's her fault. Don't
No, we submitted it thinking it was going into laws and rules, so that's part of it.
I like to change things up.
I'll
I
take
don't want
this.
everybody to give you anticipate what I do.
worry. Right. So we'll do one resolution or one committee report that will make the designation. And within that committee report, we'll talk about the type two secret determination.
Thank you, Marissa.
I can give you a chance to write that. We can move on to the next if you're,
I'm gonna head over to the firemen's
have a good time.
board over in the conference room too.
Okay.
Okay?
Maybe we'll come get.
There's a fire, you're being good company, get it, because you can.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
That's it.
Bye-bye. And I don't have any questions, but I do want to say, I think this is a wonderful thing, and I'm happy to see this implemented going forward into the future.
Yeah, I think it's long overdue for the
Yeah.
recognition of the work that he does to promote historic preservation.
Yeah.
And this is the year to do it. Do I have a
Yes.
motion?
Oh.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, now we can discuss.
Sounds fabulous to me.
Yeah, I've already put it in.
I was gonna say, okay,
Yeah, okay.
That's how good I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm almost okay.
Take it now. Probably-
Should we vote on it?
Well, we
You
could.
have to read it
I have
first.
to read it first.
That's
We don't know what it's, we don't know what it says.
We can talk about restoration trades, how AI, they're gonna take those jobs away, so it's job
That's
security, it's higher pay, there's union forces doing that work. We can
We
talk
like
about,
unions.
um,
Okay, re-
heritage, cultural heritage tourism, preservation.
a resolution of the Common Council declaring the month of May henceforth as Historic Preservation Month. I have a motion by Sarah Pasty and it's seconded by Marissa. And any discussion?
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Done.
Oh, I just, you good?
There it goes. Yeah,
I'm just.
no, right. Loading zone request. Alderwoman. This is about Stone Soup.
This is about Stone Soup and the fact that, 17 years. They had an agreement with their adjacent neighbor that allowed them to use the Wall Street parking lot. It's like a little nook that can accommodate about 8 cars. And then when the building was sold, when that building was sold, the new owners didn't think that was such a great idea, even, and Stone Soup has offered to pay them because they need a way to load and unload. They do a lot of catering work, they have a lot of deliveries, and this creates a huge inconvenience for them. And so they're asking that they get this loading zone space in front of their building, which is, I believe, 470 Broadway.
So I did reach out to John Schultes for our policy. I had not heard back. I mean, this is one of those things that like, it's not quite as engineer-y
Right.
as others.
But I did talk.
You did talk.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Because he
did-
said he didn't have a problem.
Okay, all right. And I was gonna say, he could always get back to me and we could just confirm that if this is possible. I do have a question. So you said 7 days a week. Stone Soup's not open.
They do a lot of catering on the weekends.
So it's,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
sounds like the parking, losing parking space in front of their store would mostly impact them.
Yes, and they are willing.
It'll
To
be,
do
yeah,
that.
it's all from the
Of
hardship.
course, overnight it'd be fine, but between those hours, then they will have lost that parking space. I could discuss that with them.
So if I'm going to Stone Soup and I want to pick up a sandwich, I can stop in the loading zone to do that?
You can be ticketed.
Okay, okay. So it's only for deliveries of material to do that.
This is the point, it's not dedicated to
Stone
Stone
Soup, I
Soup. It's
understand.
like a handicap space
Right.
where if some other business
Right.
wanted to
Right.
use it, then
But a loading zone is different from like standing,
Right,
stuff like that. So yeah, I think you would have to be
right.
a
some sort of
commercial
commercial.
entity to
Yes.
be able to not just say, well, no, I'm going to be loading my sandwich into my belly.
Right.
It's my car.
Okay, so let us show, do I have a motion, first of all? The motion would be to establish a loading zone at 470 Broadway.
Between the.
Can I ask another question
Sure.
before we do
Sure.
that? This doesn't affect any other businesses. I'm trying to, I know we're on soup is obviously, I'm trying to.
Here,
But this is,
Actually-
so the thing is that this has there's the Unitarian.
You,
Church.
sure,
That's
there you go.
They're not, they could move to another location. So right now, it probably doesn't impact them because they're not there, but future tenants, it could impact them. It's just that condition doesn't exist yet.
But we don't, no, and it could be a business
Could be
that would
positive.
appreciate.
Could be
Right.
good.
It could be.
it could be a business that would,
Right.
that would
Right.
continue the tradition of allowing Stone Soup to do the loading.
Yeah, so if I understood correctly from your correspondence, is this tenant doesn't want the loading happening there anymore. Is that correct?
Yes. That tenant being different from the one that's presently there.
Presently pictures.
Ben?
Yeah, so where is the loading zone going to be in the?
In front of 470.
Okay,
So
ours?
you see, yes,
Oh, right, okay, so right here.
right.
Oh, so this parking space goes away. And this just becomes an active loading zone.
It doesn't go away, it goes away between those hours.
Okay,
And, yeah,
So it's basically signage
Right.
Mhm.
But
between,
it needs, yeah, legislation, but yes.
okay.
Good. Do I have a motion?
And but Stone
Sounds-
Soup is, they understand that customers can't park there to, okay.
yeah, we had a long discussion.
I just want to make sure, like, I love Stone Soup.
Yeah.
So, but I want to try and think of any potential consequences that are present. I mean, yeah, we don't know what's gonna come, but we could always take away the loading zone too.
Right.
Do we do that?
Oh, yeah, no, we've taken away loading zones
Yeah.
and handicap parking and other things that are not needed.
Yeah, we could remove them.
Sounds delicious.
But
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
No, you make a motion.
No.
I already made
It's gonna be a
a.
second. So one's a motion, one's a
I'll
second.
second.
Oh,
There we go.
Thank you.
Establish a loading zone at 470 Broadway.
It needs to have the details of the days in the way. Right, yes.
Right. 7 days a week.
did I give you?
Yeah, but-
Yeah.
Between the hours of,
Oh,
10 AM and 3 PM? I think that's what it said.
it did say that.
Yes, 10 AM to 3 PM, all days.
yes.
Okay, establish a loading zone at 470 Broadway, 7 days a week between the hours of 10 AM and 3 PM. Anything else?
No.
Okay, so we have a motion and we had it seconded. Any discussion? So we have a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Done. Metered parking on Broadway, oh, all the rules statements. Make your pitch, go ahead.
First of all, I sorted through my email and I got your email to Vinny asking him to.
You did not get Vinny's.
Hmm?
You did not get his, Vinny.
Not get his mistakes. But in either case,
You forwarded to me, want me to forward it to you?
That'd be good. That's too much for them.
okay, so there are a couple of changes that I wanted to make. Okay, so it should read, please accept this revised communication requesting the extension of 2-hour parking on Broadway between Grand Street to Foxwell Avenue. It should be Prince Street to Foxwell Avenue.
That's.
Yes. So right where the Museum of Dinnerware is.
Holograph's out of business, by the way, but
Yeah.
that's what they've got. Holograph's gone. So you've missed it. If you didn't go, you missed it. That's all right. That's an aside.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then you have the Mallard Building. And the Mallard building going uptown, there is no meter. There are just signs that say 2 hour that permit 2 hour. Never know how that's, affected, but I guess they mark your tires or something to see if you're there for 2 hours. I'm not sure, but in either case, this group of businesses, right after the Mallard building, the first building would be Dallas Wieners. Dallas Wieners, you have Shamrock, who initially contacted me. And who else? Yeah, what? Monkey Joe's, all that whole stretch, that's where the meters start. And so what was
Stone Soup.
I'm sorry.
Soup.
Stone Soup, yeah. And so basically, what they're saying is that why is Uptown favored with 2 hour parking and their businesses who tend to cater to the lower income residents of Kingston are getting ticketed and they have to pay meters and they're, inconvenienced such that a $2 franc ends up costing them $25 because they have a ticket. She's told me of instances where she's had to pay out of her own pocket because someone got a ticket and she felt so bad because, she knew that they couldn't afford it. So I looked and I'm like, yeah, why does it stop there? And is this part of the city unduly burdened with parking tickets? Because, in other words, what was the thinking behind stopping the 2 hour parking there, which allows people to park for free, and then unduly burden this part of the city? So what I'm asking or suggesting is that along Broadway, it's actually Prince Street to Foxhall Avenue, particularly on the north side of Broadway. They cite the fact that Uptown Lake along Broadway is favored 2 hour unneeded parking, but that this accommodation abruptly ends at Grand Street, Prince Street, I should say, just after the Museum of Dinnerware. And so what I'm proposing is that there be 2 hour unmetered parking that be extended from Prince Street to Foxhall Avenue along Broadway.
Can I,
Sure.
We go ahead, yes.
can I propose what I talked about earlier is I agree that it should not be unequal.
Mhm.
I would propose that the Grand Street or Prince Street uptown does have meters.
Just add something, looking at the pictures here, it looks like there are no bike lanes here, so the meters are in the ground. Whereas when, from that point from Grand Street up, you've got the bike lane, and so if you put meters in, you're more likely to have a bicyclist or something run into it and.
I mean, you have to.
No, having played a role in the Broadway design. Okay,
Okay,
we did the planning for the firm I was with at the time,
oh,
and we
okay.
ended at
That intersection.
at Pine,
Yeah.
you know,
The YMCA.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to go farther, but there was reasons we didn't. So the section of the roadway from Pine uptown,
It's not Pine.
Well, from- where was it?
From Grand.
For Holy, where
Right.
that intersection, that used to have
Right.
the chicken place. Uptown,
Mhm.
really doesn't lend itself well to meters because of the parking, because of the bicycle lane, because of the other issues. 2-hour parking kind of makes sense there. The section from there downtown does. And if we really, I think before we make a decision on this, I'd like to circulate what Vinnie had to say about it.
I just sent it to everybody.
Did you? Okay. And I think people should read that.
I did send it to you.
Oh.
Yeah, people should read that. I'd like to table that until you have a chance to read it and think about what Vinnie says. He's opposed to it. He's got good reasons to be opposed to it. So let's read what he says and then consider it next month.
Just for discussion,
Yeah.
purposes, is his main resistance financial?
No,
Oh, okay,
in fact, he says it's not about money.
okay.
So, I mean, he thinks that's, but it's just not about money. He's got safety issues. You should read it. You should read it. Vinnie, I think does a great job with parking.
Yes.
And really thought about this stuff. And,
Yeah, too good.
yeah,
Right.
so I would say we should take his expertise, benefit from his expertise, read it, and we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Does that work?
So I do want to throw in that it is hard being near City Hall, near the seat of city government, as a
Right.
property owner near City Hall, like building safety is on us, like the DPW is right around the corner. I mean, we residents in that neighborhood
Yeah.
have to be vigilant.
And part of it was, part of the reason that it was not successful. I mean, the plan was to go all the way down, all the way down Broadway, but the school objected. And the Wiener guy didn't like it either. And so we ended up, let's take what we can get and do with that, and we'll come back and take another bite at it. So,
And money.
and
And money.
And money,
it's always
right,
about money.
Money, I think money went first.
Yeah, well, no.
of course.
Wait.
No,
Also,
Why did the school object?
school objected because at the time, that was their drop-off place in front of the school, so they were worried about making a bike lane there, and they didn't want the congestion, and they were just kind of not cooperative, to be honest.
No, they're.
Now they're at the backside, so it really, their objections really are not, don't really have
Oh,
much
you see.
sway any longer, but at the time, that was their objection. So. But, so we'll table it till next time. Okay, good.
And we will read the memo, by the email.
Yes, read the email, see what Vinnie has to say, 'cause-
Can we also, is in the memo, do we have data on where the most parking tickets are issued in town?
It's uptown.
In
Okay,
town.
it is
Absolutely.
I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
But the crux of this legislation, Farrell, is that those businesses along that corridor feel like they're unduly taxed, as it were,
Yes,
with meters.
yes.
Okay.
And Vinnie's arguments are sound in some cases, what my experience in Saugerties and here as well is when you have free parking, the tenants park there.
we'll take advantage.
Businesses don't, the businesses, don't have the parking that they think. When it's not metered or when it's not monitored. And you end up, losing, you don't get the turnover, people can't park, parking's a complicated thing.
Except that we have a control in this case, we have uptown, and that's not what's happening uptown. The tenants are not taking over the parking uptown.
But you're just talking, you say uptown, but you're just talking on Broadway, like that's.
Broadway, yes.
Because uptown, like when you think uptown,
I'm
I
sorry.
think
Yes,
Right.
right.
the business district and that was one that we, many years ago, we talked about, the meters and what we should do with that. And there are studies that say exactly what Bob was just saying, is that the businesses want turnarounds. And so if you have free parking, somebody's just gonna be there, and then somebody who may be driving by is not gonna pull lanes apart to grab their, a
But
coffee.
again, that's not the behavior where there are.
I don't think so, but I'm not positive.
Right, good. So read what Vinnie says, and we'll revisit this next meeting. Mr. Ham.
You know what?
How could you possibly put this on?
You want to know something? I tell you what, because I got phone calls before we turned out to be, Alaska. Okay, so, but you know, I've received multiple phone calls. And, you know, I've talked with the deputy chief, what can be done, you know, and really there's no real restrictions on these e-bikes, you know what I mean? But several of the complaints I got were from some people, down off the Abbey and everything. They cross over to the backside of Mahar through the playground area and they go to get their grandchildren or whatever. And he said, that's where they're going. They're in the parks. And I said, okay. Then I talked to some people on Grant Street and they said, oh yeah, they're in the parks. So up at Button. And then I went a little bit further. Okay, where else, you know? Talked to some people. They said, they're down here riding around. And I go, okay. But one thing I did see is that Parks and Recreations has the ability to post a sign saying that. But there's really no regulation on it. I mean, there's really nothing. Up to 20 miles an hour. You know, you can't use the sidewalks, you can't use this, you know, I think where everybody has the same problems. I mean, I don't just have e-bikes. I got quads and motorcycles and snowmobiles,
Yeah, they're different.
you know, but I may open the door up for me to utilize my golf cart too, so, you know.
We have golf carts in my neighborhood.
We
Yeah.
had, we
Yeah,
had this,
so Millwick is nearby.
Oh, yeah, right.
we had this discussion, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And,
we did.
It was painful. Part of the issue was that the state of New York, you know, regulates.
that's what they regulate. That's what I got always, yeah.
Right, to be duplicative to that, to the state of New York doesn't make any sense. To be more strict, we've talked to the police, you know, enforcement is a whole nother ball of wax on this.
Mhm.
We debated it at great length and abandoned it, is what we ended up passing the resolution that permitted them on some parks and pathways at the discretion of the director of parks. The director of parks can say no. For example, on Gallo, there's no e-bikes permitted.
Mhm.
There's other parks that she's banned it on, which is fine. But, you know, regulating them on the streets is, it's just unenforceable for one thing. And it's, you know, if you don't get one going here at night, I mean, you see them on the roads, they don't have lights, they don't have, no, they're supposed to have lights.
You're supposed to have lights, you're supposed to, right, you know,
If you're less than 16 years old.
yeah.
So most of them don't, I mean,
I don't require the light.
I've seen kids riding them, but I think.
Oh, absolutely.
People that I've seen are older, so they don't need to.
Right.
Or else we're just-
Well, they need to, they choose not to.
They don't legally need
Right.
to. And as, you know, my sister's a nurse at the ER,
Yeah.
and she, it's a big issue. Yeah.
The police say it's a big issue, that our mounted police, you know, the bicycle patrol said, you know, it's terrible. You know, they had to spend lots of time, you know, straightening people out and getting organized and so crashing and.
I know this may be off topic, but wasn't there like a discussion about having techno trash, the rentals?
There was a discussion about, as part of our discussion, 2 years ago, we talked about having a shared system, a rental system. And we got close to that, but it didn't really, well, it didn't really have the,
Some of us
there's two, some people didn't like it, first off. And the other part is that we're not big enough.
Correct.
So, you know,
Yeah.
one vendor's gonna come in for 6 bikes, you know, or 50 bikes, you know, you gotta have some volume to make it worth their while.
No, and you want to know something, there's a straight cost that follows that. This, when you get done, you slide your card and it runs out of juice, you just abandon it. So somebody has to collect that, bring it back to the charging station, you have to pay people of that.
Right.
And, you know, you need to go no further than San Diego to see what a disaster that is.
Yeah.
You live in
And we wanted a dock,
New York
we
City.
wanted a dock system so the people didn't leave them all over the place.
Right. Yeah, no, I did after I sent this to Andrea, I was in it, I was talking to people, everyone, and I said, it's, same thing. So I suggest that you all abandon your vehicles and the high price of insurance and go yourself an e-bike.
E-bike would be great.
There's no rules, you don't have to register it.
Do whatever you want.
Have anybody?
I had an e-bike, I had one.
When you purchase one, is there any information that you get about the?
Do whatever you want. That's what it says on the tag.
I have a couple of, so it's closer to a bicycle than it is,
So you're the class one.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what, the reason why, because there are issues, there's safety issues with this. So maybe this is something that maybe Live Well could take up and have brochures.
Livewell was behind the authorization of parks and behind the rental.
Right.
So Livewell likes this. This is the last month.
No, this is what I was suggesting, not like getting rid of anything like this, but for the bike shops that we do have, not to say that everybody's gonna purchase in Kingston, but to supply, not to regulate anything, but to supply a pamphlet of these are the rules, you have to have lights, you
Most
have.
people get bikes online.
The problem with that is,
I try to get it at the bike store, they just didn't have what I needed.
right,
That's the only reason I had.
the problem with online bikes is that many of them are not UL listed. And, if they're not UL listed, then they can ignite in your house, which is not good.
So I don't get that.
So,
They're safe.
right.
I mean, we used to have, this was actually one of the first things that I helped eliminate when I joined the council, was the code, you have to register your bicycle.
Well,
And there was a
The
big
olden days, you
reason
were
why we,
Yeah.
and I'm not suggesting that we do that with bicycles.
no, but an e-bike, I
It's
would
more
think
like
it's.
car, so I'm just throwing it out there, I don't think I'm in favor of it, I mean, I'm definitely opposed to a bicycle being registered, because that's just like opening the door for a cop to be able to stop anybody and be like.
So show me your papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know about that.
Yeah, not that I think our cops would do that, but anyway, that is something that could potentially, but again, I think that we would have to carefully consider the consequences, something like that.
And the cost. Wouldn't be free.
Yeah,
We just charge them.
Who's gonna do it?
I know.
I mean, So,
No,
are you okay with letting this go for now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am, but you know what? And I wanted to pick everybody's brain here that's been around and I know this has been discussed before.
Yeah, I will pack it if you'd like somebody else, send it to you.
Yeah.
It,
But I did, I pulled up as much stuff as I possibly could. And it was almost becoming redundant, so,
Right.
but I said, you gotta ask.
yeah, we had a draft bill written and it was distributed and the public went crazy. We got more calls on that. I got more calls on that opposed to it than you'd imagine. People from all over were against regulating it, against everything that was in it.
Hey, you know what? I'm fine with that. That's all fine and dandy, but for me, it's still a vehicle. It's still on the roadway
Yeah.
and it should be registered.
Your Livewell suggestions, because they have over the years done public information stuff, and this would be an ideal candidate for them. I mean, talk about speeding, public information, and other things. E-bikes would be a great topic.
yeah, because this is little unicorns and rainbows of me, but I think a good chunk of people don't obey the rules because they don't know the rules.
No, I agree with that.
And
That's a fair assessment. Yeah.
And there will be people who just say, you know what, and will do what they want to do, and there's nothing, even if we have regulations, there's nothing that we could do, but there are other people that just don't know that you're not supposed to ride your bike on the sidewalk.
Right.
Maybe that one's not a good example, but
That's the best one.
yeah, or that you have to follow the rules of the law, so that could be, or rules of the road. So it could be something if anybody wants to change that up.
And didn't we at one point talk about trying to have bicycle shops have regulations about what it means when you're riding in the bicycle lanes, that you have to stop when you come to intersections because.
Like an education.
No, it's not regulations, but just like about another pamphlet, like we're talking about, just some sort of information pamphlet so that you can rent a bike or buy a bike or put them somewhere around, send it out to the public somehow that just says, if you're riding a bike, please obey these rules.
What does the green box mean?
Yeah, that
I
can
mean,
be,
they
that
can
kind
make
of
a
stuff.
pamphlet out of biodegradable materials, so if their seat gets wet, they can wipe the seat off. But
God, he's tough.
That might be some, I could suggest that to the Lidwell folks. Just-
Oh, yeah.
Sam, I'd like to do some of an educational pamphlet.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
complete,
part.
the Complete Streets Advisory Council was deeply involved in this.
Oh, they were.
Oh, and
Oh, doesn't do that.
Yeah.
This one. Yes.
We were deeply involved in it.
Yeah, I thought of Lisbon first,
But
In favor of, primarily, in favor of not regulating it, in favor of using this the last mile, in favor of e-bikes
education, but not.
as a mode of transportation.
Mhm.
But
I appreciate everybody, weighing in on it, and, I'll do my best to research something else that didn't really go through, and we can throw it back up on the
Okay,
table.
good.
Okay.
But as a cyclist on the road, often with kids on the back of my bike, it still, the far greater danger are bad drivers and vehicles
Sure.
and
Oh, yeah.
e-bikes.
Sure.
So like we're making it sound like there's this huge e-bike explosion happening. There are some isolated bad actors who obviously need some education on, riding e-bikes in the city, but it's the good drivers of automobiles are.
my concern was for the riders. They're getting injured, but it's not, maybe some of them is their fault, maybe it's the driver's fault, and yeah, and drivers should just,
Well, yeah, anyway.
so.
Okay, let's move, old business. Do you want to do old business? Or shall we can
We're
take
gonna table this,
Go.
sorry, you guys,
Ulster Community Action Plan parking, we're gonna table because
I need more time.
she needs more time.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll offer a motion to.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Done.
Thanks, Lisa, good night.
I don't know any motions to sign. I'm not doing it.
I know.